The East Roast Podcast.
Are you listening? Crazy mother. Damn.
2, 1. Welcome to the East Roast Podcast. I'm Tony, and I'm here with my partner, of course, as always. That's Chris Cotton.
What's up, man? How you doing, Tony?
What's you got some shows coming up next week?
Man, you know I'm working a little bit, but I think I didn't get everything filled in yet. But I know I'll definitely be at the Raven Lounge on Thursday, 1718 Sanders Street, right there in Philadelphia. If you come on down, it's a dope bar, fun time. Every Thursday, show starts 9 o'clock. It's the longest running open mic in Philadelphia. I started about 10 years ago with my colleagues, and it's still going. It's like, I think, 11, 12 years. I'm getting old, man.
Yeah,
it's like
man.
11 years deep, man. So, and it's still going. Left for a while, came back to it, rejoined the team, and it's still going great.
Well, if you haven't seen the Chris Cotton show, you're definitely missing out. So you gotta come by and check them out.
Good times, man.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So what do we got today, man? I see there's a lot going on. I'm excited to talk today.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. We were talking about some outdoor sports, before we started.
Oh.
So,
I will be
it's
honest
probably
with you.
good.
I will be
We
honest
said,
with
let's
you.
stop. Let's talk about this on the podcast.
I don't know if you can tell with my body type. I'm not really an outdoorsy guy. I like to do stuff outdoors. Another thing is I'm allergic to almost everything. Ragweed, grass, natural air. You know what I mean? If it don't come through a air conditioner, it makes me gag. You
Well,
know
there's
what I
too
mean?
many poisons out there. There's the
so
poison
many
oak, the
poisons.
poison
Oh,
ivy. It's like, they got the Shanghai poison out there. They got, it's dangerous
I
out
went
there,
on a
man.
nature walk one time in school. They took us to like this thing where we went like a nature walk, and I learned about stinging nettle. I was like, don't got to worry about me.
What is it?
Stinging nettle. You ever know? That's another poison. It's like poison ivy, but it's worse.
Stinginetto.
Stinging nettle.
Oh, stinging netto.
It's literally in the name. It lets you know it's going to hurt.
There's just one more thing I got to worry about when I go out in the
It's
woods.
so aggressive. At least, only thing good about stinging nettle is as a plant, and this is weird stuff I learned from just watching a lot of TV and I watch like educational shows and a very weird History Channel and stuff. It's weird. I'm weird. All right, but stinging nettle, it is something inside of it where if you boil it down, it's actually really good for your digestive tract. And it does take away from like a lot of other poisons and things like that. So it's good. It's a good plant unless you just straight up touch it, and then it hurts. They said it feels like a bee sting, like when it stings you. So it's weird, man.
Well, it's just like anything else that's good. It's good, but it can kill you.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you realize people don't realize this. One day they came up with heroin because they didn't have anything else. When they had to like do surgeries on people to keep them awake,
Right.
and heroin was where that was like, we need them to be lucid enough to tell us what's going on, but also happy enough not to care that they're in a shitload of pain.
And then it ends up decimating the world.
Oh, dude, it ends up just tearing down a couple cultures. We're not going to talk about it.
I feel bad laughing about this.
It's just facts, though. I mean, opioid dens were created, and then a lot of things changed the game. And also, a lot of people made a lot of money.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of people made a lot. I mean, they didn't know. They thought it would just go. Cocaine is also one of those drugs. All this man-made stuff.
I mean, actually, I think this might be common knowledge, but Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah.
It started as Coke was a main ingredient in Coca-Cola. Isn't that something? I mean, that's pretty wild, right?
It was very addictive.
Yeah.
And then eventually they still didn't take Coke. Technically, it's still in the process of it. It's just tapered down to the point where it's almost undetectable.
Really? Wow.
I learned this.
They must put a little extra in a Diet Coke, man, because I'm completely addicted to Diet Coke.
I love Coke. I love Coca-Cola. It's my favorite. Out of the Pepsi and Coke, if I had to take the challenge, I would choose Coke every time. Pepsi a little too sweet for me.
It's funny. Every time I order Diet Coke, though, man, I got like this big plate of stuff in front of me. People look at me like,
healthy.
Diet, really? Diet Coke?
No, I never touch the stuff. But if I do go soda or pop or whatever you call it, I go with Coke. I used to go to Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper if it's available. I'm a big fan of Dr. Pepper. Say if y'all want to throw some T-shirts or something, a hat. Come on, Dr. Pepper and Cola. You got the money. All right, give it up, okay? You got the merchandise. Remember, like Newport back in the day, everybody had a Newport hat.
I do.
Did you have a Newport hat?
No, I didn't actually. You know what I had? I had a Marlboro hat because that was part of the. Oh yeah, remember? Like it was one of the things people, got hooked on with Marlboros is that,
yeah.
They would give you little tickets, right?
Little box
And if
tops.
you start to add these tickets on, you might get something like a tent, or something like that. So I got a hat,
That was the funny. You walk into somebody's house, or you see somebody like at like a family function,
Yeah.
and they pop a tent out. And it's like, cool. I didn't know you smoked.
I
Like,
know.
I got
Yeah.
the box tops. They kept leaving them. in front of
Marlboro
my
was
house.
like,
Yeah.
everything was labeled really big too back then. Now it's like, if it's a cigarette ad, I don't even know if they even have cigarette ads, but
They can't
might
really
be
run 'em
completely
the same.
gone all the way.
Yeah, they
but they
can't
used
really
to just
run 'em.
be the biggest thing in the world. You know what I mean? Marlboro. If I got a shirt, Marlboro, it would go all the way around your back.
What's crazy about cigarette companies now is they can't run ads. They have to run anti-ads.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
than running ads now. And it's just the trade-off. They figured we don't even need ads. I mean, it sells itself. But then they got into the vape business. A lot of them started buying up those vape companies on the back end.
Right.
Because they realized that's the new wave
Yeah,
of
and now
tobacco.
vaping is, that's something that's how I got rid of smoking cigarettes. Now here I
At least
vape.
it smells better.
And
I
as
can-
soon as I, do something I think is good for me, it's kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
full circle with what we're talking about. Now it's bad. It's killing all these kids all over the place.
Coming back to nature, it was funny. Growing up, my grandpa used to smoke. Of course, like everybody's grandpa, grandparents used to smoke. He passed, of course, when I was young, 15 or whatever. I was just thinking about my grandpa on the way driving over here because I heard something about it in the song. That's neither here nor there. But I was thinking about my grandpa. And he used to smoke tobacco, but he grew up in North Carolina. I'm sorry, in Georgia, and the way he used to also smoke when he first started smoking was he would just grab tobacco out of the ground. You know what I mean? The dried out tobacco already.
Really?
You just grab it right there and just grind it up real quick in his hand, roll it up, and just smoke it.
Wow.
So it was like that was different than what you would smoke now.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you get it, this is probably
it's
like
gotta-
1%. This is
Yeah.
that and meat. I don't know what you.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you
And
eat.
chemicals, man. There's so many
they
chemicals.
Throw
in
so
everything.
much stuff in
You
it.
know what I miss though? This is it's bad to promote smoking, but I miss a pipe. Remember a pipe smell? Guys would walk by with a pipe,
I
and it'd
remember-
smell like it'd make the whole room smell like cherries or something like
Dude,
that. Or I was like,
I was this close to almost wanting, and even when I became an adult, sometimes when I think of my grandpa, I kind of want to smoke a Black and Mild or Black
well,
and
I
Cherry.
do sometimes.
And
I-
because the smell of
Yeah.
it just reminds me of my grandpa. So,
Yeah.
and they smelled great. Black and Cherry.
They do smell great.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I've tried to get rid of cigarettes. I mean, every once in a while I will have one. I mean, just to be honest, but I don't know if I can ever really get rid of cigars. I really enjoy a cigar. I
started dipping
but
into
that's
cigars a little
that's a
bit.
social thing anyway.
Yeah, I went to Cuba, got
Yeah.
some Cubans, brought some back. Smoking a Cuban, even if it was it was a house-made Cuban cigar.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of those.
Oh man, it's the craftsmanship.
It's
really,
nice.
It's not necessarily the leaf inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's the burn. It's a slower burn. It's an hour-long
Yeah,
cigar, and that's what's
exactly.
great about it. You can set it down. It's a slow burn. It doesn't go out. And it really is the craftsmanship. It's all about that. I mean, that's where you feel.
I didn't know you were into cigars.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
we gotta. If you ever come down to Philly, which I'm always at Philly Comedy Club. I know this weekend specifically, I'm at Philly Comedy Club headlining. And like I said, next week I'm in Philly, just doing a lot of other
And
stuff.
you know what we should mention? I mean, for anybody who might be in Chicago in a couple of weeks, you're going to be out there too,
I'll be
man.
out in Chicago, man, at Zanies, man, the November 20th through the 24th, and. Hey, and if you're in New York in December, I'll be headlining Caroline's in December.
Oh,
December
man.
3rd, so that should be dope. But we gotta come. You gotta come hang out at Philly Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah.
You can do you can smoke hookah and cigars in there, and of
What, in
course
the club?
drink, too.
Yeah.
In the club. It's not. And I mean, they have it so it doesn't, but it's nice.
Yeah.
So we can sit down and have some cigars. and
Yeah, man,
talk and
absolutely. I'd love
drink
to.
some bourbon, which I'm drinking
Yeah.
now. That's what I'm.
Yeah, man.
But that's coming back to nature. It's weird. There's nothing you're smoking now. It's weird, man. Like, I want to do outdoorsy stuff. I want to. Like, I want to learn how to shoot. I want to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
learn archery,
Well, I've done that. I used to be a hunter.
What did you hunt?
I hunted deer, and I did some small game. I actually enjoyed that more. I really like to do like a pheasant hunt and stuff like that. That's more of a group thing.
Are they
get a
delicious?
couple of
Do you
guys
eat them
together.
afterwards? Or you? Or how
I
do.
do,
You with
yeah.
pheasants?
I mean, I don't really. I never really learned how to gut, deer, or had the stomach to do it. So, and I gave up hunting, to be honest with you. I mean, so I don't know what happened. I just, all of a sudden decided I don't want to kill anything anymore, which
I
is
can
actually a great
understand
feeling.
that. Another thing, real fun fact about Chris Cotton, he doesn't like stuff to be dead.
Yeah,
Now, that
yeah.
sounds weird. Okay, all right. My wife, she laughs at me because let's say if we're driving and it's like roadkill or something. I have a thing that I do for my brain. I don't like see anything dead. So I like if I go to a funeral, I don't view.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
thing. I just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
do it because I like to keep the memory of the last time I seen.
Right.
So if I'm driving and I see like roadkill, I make up what I think it really is, and I change it in my own brain because I was like I'd just rather live with that. So if I see like a dead raccoon, I said, "Ooh, somebody dropped their hat."
Yeah.
And I can't believe they dropped it in that ketchup. Like, I'll say that to myself out loud. My wife, she's used to it now. She just laughs like, oh, what was that? I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
A dirty jacket.
Nothing dead. Nothing dead.
Yeah, that weird deer-shaped jacket.
So you must be one of those people that, like the sight of blood, does that bother you?
Only time it truly, I don't like blood.
I mean, obviously you don't like it, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like it. But the sight of blood, only time it's ever truly affected me is one time me and my wife, she had to go for a procedure, and I seen her blood. And it's a weird thing to see. I was like, and in my mind, it was like, hey, put that back in there. It was just weird. I didn't like her blood being out of her body. And
wait till you
that
have
made
kids.
me want to like pass out.
Wait till you have kids, though. I mean, as much as you love your wife and your mother and your father and all, but kids, it's just a whole nother thing. A little bit of blood. I mean, my daughters have had the smallest skin knee, and I'll tell you, we make a big deal out of it because it is a big deal, man. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm probably worse than they are. You know what I mean?
I'm hoping I can hold back on it. I'm hoping I can hold it in. Because my dad did a good job with that growing up. Like he had 3 boys.
Yeah.
And all of us played sports. And I remember the craziest moment of my dad. I know this was hard for him in general, just watching us play. But I remember one time he came to one of my football games. In my 11th grade year, my shoulder started popping out. I was a lineman, defense and offensive lineman.
Yeah. And that's usually chronic when you have that kind of a shoulder.
Once it
it'll
pops
just
out
keep
once,
on. Yeah.
it keeps happening. So it's happened every game, sometimes twice, usually twice a game.
So you learn how to pop it back in.
Yeah, I would just pop it back in and keep going. But I remember one game it came out a good one. And I used to do it myself. Only a couple times I had players help me, and they didn't know they was helping me.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, this is a double story. First time it happened in this game, my dad was the same game too. He was there, and it popped out. And this while I was on the field, one of my homies, I was laying on the ground. He was like, yo, and I laid there for a half a second longer. Everybody else got up, and he was walking past. I was like, yo, Sean. He was like, what? I said, help me up. I said, but when you grab my arm, you have to grab my arm, and you're going to pop my shoulder back in. He said, I don't want to do that. I said, shut up and grab my arm.
Yeah.
So he grabbed, because I was like, I don't want to come out the game, and they needed me. I was having a great game too. So he grabbed my arm, and all you hear, and he was like, oh, I never want to feel it. Because he could feel it happen.
Through
and
him.
It feels like
through his fingers.
gristle. Like, you know how like gristle on the
Oh,
chicken?
my God,
It
yeah.
felt like that's what it feels like. If it pops back
And
in.
and you can hear it too, huh?
You
Oh,
can
my
hear
God.
it. And he was like, He's like, you want to keep playing? I said, yeah. We got to finish out this set of downs.
Because it's like instant relief, right? When you put it back in, it's
but
like
then it kind of goes numb. It's one thing where
yeah.
mentally I can kind of I got a high pain tolerance for the most part, and I kind of just like it's time to go. And then it happened again a second time in the game, and my dad was staying on the sideline, so I come out the game for a second because I just needed to play to get it together. And this time, and I came out, and my dad came over. He was like, "You need some help?" I was like, "Get away from me!" Only time ever he's ever seen me be like, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where it was like kind of proud and scared at the same time. I was like, "Oh, I want to help my son," but right now he's doing real man shit. And I can't. He's like, "Get away from me!" Don't. But he knows, like, if I'm in pain, it's like I was. Like,
well, for you, I think that's going to depend on if you have a son or a daughter. It's like for me, I really like. I like the girly side of girls. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy who wants to toughen up my girls or make them. And I'll tell you why. Because when they're young, kids can be cruel, especially girls can be cruel to girls. A lot of times you want to, make them tougher, but that's a lifelong lesson, and that's not one that is going to help them in their life with their husband or at work or whatever. There's something about girls. There's something special that girls have that a lot of times people will take away, which is that they have a heart, right? And they have that compassion and all. And usually that doesn't really, they don't realize how important that is. And even men, they don't realize how important it is that women have it until we're older. And we're so thankful that they do have it. So, For boys, for sure, man. I think if I had if I had one son or two sons, I mean, I would probably act the same way. You know, I want them to push through it because men and they kind of judge each other on that, right? You know, but with the girls, it's tough for me. It's really tough to see them get hurt. So
I don't know. You know what it is? I think personally, if I had to choose, quote unquote, what I have. I guess I want a girl just because that is an aspect of my life I want to dip into is expressing more emotions.
Yeah.
And all my friends who had girls, they pour emotions out of you that boys don't. Also, I grew around all men. I kind of get it. And another thing is my wife, and I had my mom growing up, she was sick.
right.
So naturally, I have a thing with women where it's a certain level of toughness, but I don't want you to. It's not tough.
It's a different type.
It's
you're right.
like you literally, through your emotions, be tough.
Right.
And that sounds very kind of like, how do you do that? You can, and it's just something that I've kind of watched women in my family be.
Women's strength, kind of shows itself in a different way, right? It's they hold it down. You know what I mean? It's like it's pretty wild where their strength comes from. That's why I say, I don't want to take away what it hasn't really had the opportunity to show itself with my young girls. When they get older, that strength that they have, you don't want to mess with it because they're going to have something that their husbands don't have. Just like my wife has something that I don't have, and I really appreciate that.
Dude, you need it. My wife is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and her compliment each other. We both suffer from depression in different ways, though, and in different triggers. And as I'm an artist, full time, she's a nurse and does artsy stuff. She was like, I can't be an artist full time. She was like, she would go crazy.
Is she a painter? Or?
She does. She's a dancer growing up.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
a dancer,
yeah.
And she also she does events.
Mm-hmm.
And she just likes to do things creatively.
Right, yeah.
She creates a lot of just t-shirt designs. A lot of times.
Oh yeah.
When you see
the dope
I'll
t-shirts.
I'll wear a whole bunch of stuff that she just made. You know what I mean? She just likes to just keep something creative. And I remember at one point she stopped creating, and I actually had to pull it to the side. I was like, she was like, well, she just started looking real sad, and I was like, you don't have to create like I create. Like I have to do it every day, and I have to have a whole bunch of outlet. I said to my wife, anything that doesn't make money, that's what I know how to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sitting and talking.
When everybody else is making money, though, it's like, look, all these people are making money.
Sitting and talking for an hour with no real topic.
Yeah.
Call your boy.
That's right.
I'm good at forcing people to pay me for stuff that they don't need me to do. You know what I mean? And she's great at just everything she does hair. That's what she started when she was a kid. She used to make money actually real good money. If she could braid, do everything, she could just do hair. She's really good at it. You know what I mean? And I watched it. I remember at one point I wasn't jealous by any means but it was one of those moments where as a man you go out and you go hustle, and I was like, yeah, I'm hustling, I'm doing what I gotta do. Here go $50 here, $60 here. And she'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do some hair tomorrow and make $400.
Right. Yeah.
How long you gotta work for?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of
That's like
even
two
out.
sets for me over it.
Yeah. So, dude, now it's starting to even out. I'm gonna call, and the guy only had to talk for 15 minutes. Yeah, I made X amount of money. She's just like, oh, all right. She makes her face
man.
now it's starting to catch up.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good for the whole house in general.
Yeah.
It's not even competition anymore. Anything that comes in is good to come in.
Yeah.
But honestly, with sports and everything, I tell me and my wife, we agree, male, women, whatever, male, female, whatever we have, whatever they want to play, do it. And I'm fully supportive. I had one cousin who was very much a tomboy growing up, but very girly. I was scared that when she's older than me, but I was always, me and her born on the same day too. Both Capricorn, born January 16th, right? I was scared that when she got out, I was like, will she be able to do the girly stuff?
Yeah.
We didn't make her we didn't be a man up and nothing, but she was she liked to play basketball.
Yeah.
My mom was saying when she liked to play basketball, football, and all that. But when she became married and everything, she still was to enjoy that stuff sometimes. And she just, it was just great because she just was fun. She's just fun. You know what I mean? She's the cool girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I only know her as a cousin too, so I don't know how cool she really was.
Right, yeah.
Which is also weird, but I just hope that I have a daughter and she just wants to have fun and play sports and do everything else. And if she doesn't,
she probably will be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it really has a lot to do with dad. You know, and if you're lucky enough to have a dad at home, you know, it's you can really. It's just amazing how close they can get with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what it does to you. I mean, that's kind of what we started with. You know, is how it really can change you. It's going to change you, you know, unbelievably. But it's just wild. You know that. So there's a lot of times what guys don't understand is love, right? You know, we feel like, you know, you love somebody, but you really don't know. I mean, a lot of times you know, if somebody's leaving you, then all of a sudden you love them, you know, or whatever. And something I learned when I had my first daughter is that there's a level of love that I think that women understand is real and men are shocked to feel. You know, yeah, really. You know, because I loved this child the second that she was handed to me in a way that I could never love my mother. I could never love my wife in the same way or anyone else in life. That's something that was, you know, boy, girl, doesn't matter what you have as a child. That is the most valuable thing that you're going to find in your life. It's probably, you know, it's the biggest thing in my life is realizing that there's that level of love that I just had no idea existed. I mean, you know, you will 100% lay down your life before, you know, for your children. It's just insane.
I mean, you know, ultimate love is known as your kid coming to you one day and say, Dad, I want to learn archery. And you say, there's no money in archery.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go learn it. And all you do is spend money on archery. And like I was saying, you know what's love is watching your kid be a pole vaulter.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, because you know they're never going to be the pole vaulter. Like, if they do become the pole vaulter, then everybody's like, as kids, you don't. People outside.
I mean, there's
talk
like what,
about
you know,
the new
two
back,
pole
you know what I mean?
pole vaulters that actually make money in the world, and the rest of them are all, you know.
And by make money, we mean slight sponsorship.
Yeah.
And they might pull in $50K a year, maybe on strictly pole vault.
Yeah.
You got to have another job with your pole vault. You know what I mean? It's not like football, basketball, or even curling at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? You know what's crazy about curling?
Oh, it's big.
I can't miss it. You know, if it's on, I feel bad that I missed it.
Dude, that's
Well,
crazy.
I don't really understand why, but you know, it's just like I'm mesmerized. You know, when that's on, I'm like, you know,
it's bocce ball on ice.
yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, the Italian in me likes, you know, just, you know, knocking it out of the way. You know,
That's crazy. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, that's pure. Like those natural. I do miss that. Could you imagine being alive during like Robin Hood times? You know, what was that, the medieval times?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
sitting there and you just like, oh man, he's this dude right there. You walk in the street, yo, that's the hottest night in the city, and you just and people just throwing money at you,
right?
Because you could in a game format stab somebody to death.
you kill
better than
anybody.
somebody else,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or ride and javelin somebody
Yeah.
right in the chest. And
Their
knock them
archery
off a
skills
horse.
are definitely on point.
Dude,
you know?
I would love, like, the thing is with me, I truly respect anybody who can, like, make, like, I watch Forge and Fire and all that stuff on History Channel, and when they make knives, I haven't missed an episode. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I literally watch every episode, because in my back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, if the apocalypse happens,
I need to know how to make myself a spear.
It would be so cruelly made, and it will probably be soft metal. I know the technique, but I've seen the technique, but
Listen,
I don't
if
think
the apocalypse ever came, man, I'm telling you, I would probably I'd be one of the first people to go, because I have absolutely no idea how to take care of myself, man. You know, it's like
I would tell me and my family, let's run into the fire.
I know, because we ain't gonna make it anyway.
We don't go into the fire.
Let's make it quick.
I'm not willing to eat anybody. I'm telling you that right now. So it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
And again, even though I was a hunter, I mean, listen, I was by no means a good hunter. I did it actually for the, you know, just to kind of get out there. You know, it's pretty wild. You know, you go and you get up in a tree and you sit there by yourself and you'll see the nature. And sometimes a deer will go by and you just say to yourself, like, you know, go. I mean, I just enjoyed it. You know, I just enjoyed being alone and sitting out there. You know, the one thing I didn't enjoy is, you know, we're talking about all the things that can get you. You know what a jigger is?
No.
Jiggers. Unbelievable, man. So what happens is right about now, you know, it's just about hunting season now. So it's starting to cool down. And when you go into the woods and it's warm out, there's these little bugs that you can't see, real small, and they get up under your skin.
They get under your skin.
Under your skin. And it's crazy. It's like you got pimples all over you. You know what I mean? And they end up dying under your skin. And, what they'll do is they'll take you really can't get rid of them. So what happens is you'll have to take nail polish and just set it on top of your skin in all the spots so that no air can come through and it kills them. Or I think that's how it happens, something like that.
All right, so
but
you
anyway,
ever gotten them on you?
What's that?
You've gotten them on you before?
Jiggers? Yeah.
They have to. It's almost automatic. It's going to happen.
Well, what happens is, so like right now, a lot of the hunters are going out because it's cool, and jiggers are dormant, or I guess they just leave you alone at that time. Then you'll have that one day where it's a little bit warm, and you got to go out hunting anyway. So you go through, and they hang out on the leaves on all the small brush. They get on your clothing, and then they just find their way around, and they usually get all up in the nutsack area. It's like,
that's the thing.
I can't believe you never seen. Now you definitely are not outdoorsy, man. You don't even know about jiggers.
Oh no, I'm not going outside if I don't have to. Listen,
There's some crazy shit out there.
Honestly, I have a thing. First of all, let's say if I'm in the house, like if I'm outside, like a bug flies on me, I don't kill it. I have a thing because it's not doing anything wrong.
Right.
It's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's outside, and unless I have to kill it, if it's me or him, then it's always me. But if I don't have to kill it, you stay alive. I brush you off. I'm uncomfortable, but I like you. You didn't do anything. You don't deserve to die. If I'm in the house now, I feel bad about saying this, but I generally, if I can't, I try not to kill spiders because spiders protect your house from other bigger things. I mean, for all the smaller stuff. But if I don't have to in the house, I'll try not to, but most times I do if I have to. I don't really like killing stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad. We took over their space.
Yeah, well, not in your house, though.
They
don't belong in there.
You know what's bad? But it's like
you got to get what I have. I have this salt shooting gun.
Oh, you got the salt gun?
Yeah, you know what that is?
Yeah, I've seen it. And,
I let the flies in just so that I can shoot away at them.
No, I'm cool, man. I don't want flies.
Flies are terrible, man.
They are annoying. They are annoying.
You know what? My kids always want me to, and you know what? I'm okay with this one. Ladybugs. My kids are always like, let the ladybug live in the house.
Yeah, you like it.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's okay. And then you'll find the ladybug dead because it's like hanging out on a light bulb at night. It got fried on a light bulb.
You're not the smartest bugs.
You know what? No. They're like, ooh, light, and then they just sit on a light bulb and fry. Then you got to hide it so your kids. I don't know where she is, but I'm sure she's around the house here somewhere. It's like
I don't do a lot of the nature.
We got to get you out in nature, man. Or at least you know what? You can't just go out in nature. You got to learn stuff. You got to go do an archery in the indoor archery.
Dude, I want to do the axe throwing.
The axe throwing.
We got to go axe throwing with the ladies, man. We got to take the ladies.
I don't know about axe. It's neat, man. It is neat.
I want to throw knives.
But I saw some wild.
I want to throw stuff. I just want to throw stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to throw in my house, right? I remember one day my dad noticed it when I was younger. I used to throw knives at the wall. Like, I don't know.
Did you really?
A steak knife. Yeah, I used to take a steak knife in the kitchen, right? We had this wall, and the way that the way the kitchen was made, and on the wall, you wouldn't see if you did it right, you wouldn't see the holes. So
right.
I would just, until one day my dad painted, and he was like, why is there so many
what is this?
knife holes in the wall? I just looked, I was like, I just said, you know how kids are. We just walk away. You know what I mean? No harm, no foul. You know what I mean? He'll never get to the bottom of this one. You know? But I used to just randomly sometimes just throw a steak, like a steak knife, and I got pretty good at the point where I could be on the other side of the kitchen and it'll get it, and I pop it in the wall. But I think that if I had some practice, I could be a good axe knife. I think that I would be the dude in a movie. First of all, I would have either the bashing weapons and the throwing weapons.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
I think
I'm not messing around with that axe throwing shit because I want to show you something, man.
All right,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Let's see.
Let me check something out.
I don't know, man. I think I would be the dude or the saber dude. You know, the dude with the curvy knife.
Yeah,
I'll be curvy knife.
There's something about this axe throwing thing that really I feel like isn't for me.
Let's see this.
Take a look at this.
Let's see.
Watch this girl.
Whoa! Whoa!
You see that?
It came right back at it.
Yeah. So
I want to throw knives.
Yeah. So if you're only look here, it is slow motion. Look. She throws it. It bounces off the wall. It almost cuts her head off.
What I love is her reflexes, though. That's fight. That is fight or flight.
Oh, my
she
God.
She could have sat there like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can you believe she got out of the way?
Dude,
I mean,
you ever see that video of the lady when she's on that? I think it was the Amazing Race or something, and she had to like do the thing where she makes the watermelons go across, and she tries to put it in the sling, and it comes back and hit her in the face.
Right.
Oh, dude, that's stuff like that's big fears to me. Big fears. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to do, but I still would do something like that. I still would go. I still want to go, even after seeing that video.
Yeah.
It's
There's
just,
some more. Now, here, these are people that are actually doing it right.
just doing it.
Right?
doing
Look
the
at that.
actual-
Two-handed. Boom. Right there in the middle, man.
I'm looking at. Listen, plus I'm a good learner, man. Literally, I'm watching technique right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna show up. Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah, I'll try it.
I
But,
feel like
I'll probably be
already
that.
above the curve.
Yeah. I might be one of those guys who, bounce it off the wall like that girl did and,
Nah, man, I
and
feel
got to
like you
dodge
go
it.
there. I am not. I've shot. I've shot a gun before.
Yeah, I've shot a gun.
And
I've shot quite a few guns.
Yeah, you used to hunt.
Yeah.
So I've shot a gun before, and I'm not. I don't feel fond of that. I feel like I'm going to learn. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to learn as I get older. Me and my wife also talked about this. Male, female, again, whatever we have. As the kids get older, we're going to all learn how to shoot guns together.
Yeah.
I think that one of the problems with, especially with Americans, is people are always like, I hate guns. I don't like guns, but also I believe that you should create a gun culture in your family, so that way it's not a thing where it's like you hate guns and you also are like anti-gun. But you also shouldn't be super pro-gun.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, I need a gun. It should be one of the things where you understand them.
Yeah.
You should teach. I believe that education in that instance is smart, because I also grew up. Nobody wants to have to fight all the time, but I grew up. I learned how to fight because we had to fight. And then I got pretty good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With guns, I think that if you take your kids at least 3-4 times a year, you know what I mean? Probably, honestly, more than that up front. I want to get to a point where I can take them. We learn together.
Well, the thing is crazy is that, a lot of times, so people have, guns in their house. And what you're saying really is just making sure that your family's protected, but also safe. That they understand, when the kids are old enough to understand, that this thing is not a toy, one, and that if you ever had to use it, it is, something that they know how to use.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't want to keep a gun in the house ever.
See, I have a gun in the house. Yeah, I do. But again, I live in an area where there's a lot. It's easy to get through my yard without anybody knowing, and we're not really populated deeply. So yeah, yeah. So we've had some problems out here. So we've been robbed a couple of times, 3 times actually. Yeah. So it's just something that I have in the house.
And that's funny because I've never been robbed. I've always lived in the worst parts of every city.
Well, what happens is, the eyes are out, in a city. When you're here, you really have to rely on yourself and in your family to keep an eye out. The neighbors aren't paying attention, and the neighbors are kind of far anyway. So, but it's, for me, I don't know. I definitely am not pro-gun. It's not like I'm going to tell somebody, oh, you're crazy for not having a gun, But listen, it's a right that you have. I think it's silly that people get so, you're so crazy about the gun issues when the reality is, people are, who's killing people. They had a gun, but you can kill someone. If you want to kill someone, you can kill them with a knife. You can kill them with anything.
Oh, dude, that's
so
what I want to. Now that's something. Honestly, those two things. Okay, guns. I want to learn about, know about. Like I said, personally, I don't want one in the house. Me and my wife, and like we said, we'll broach that even more as time goes on, and as they get older. Also, as children get older. But also, I just don't like having them around. But I also want to be at that point where if something goes down. And let's say, and this sounds crazy, and this sounds, what I'm about to say sounds nutty. It sounds like one of those things where that'll never happen, but you never know. But let's say it's a situation where we're in a situation where things get crazy and somebody with a gun, people with guns take over or something, and there is an opportunity that, okay, I can grab a gun, it's me or you.
It's like, damn, I wish I had a gun.
Yeah, and then something happens and there's a loose gun.
Yeah.
And the worst is like, oh man, me or you, and if I don't know how to use that, I would feel like I did myself a disservice in life because it's just a skill you can pick up.
Right.
Of course, you put a knife or something in front of me, Have I gingerly taught myself how to fight with a knife? Yes.
Yeah,
Have I seen some Filipino knife fighting and said I can learn those skills? A little bit. But if you put a gun in front of me, I know some 101 stuff, and I would pick it up, and I learned how to. It took me the whole shooting session to understand truly how to line up the sight, but I can get it enough. But I also looked at it when I said that to myself. I said, everybody around me and my kids should know how to do these basic things.
And, guns in the home, the whole thing with guns in the home, I mean, people, if somebody is going to come to your house, and that gun's not going to leave the house. I mean, obviously, we're talking about responsible people who are, who are responsible gun owners. I mean, that's what you want, right? But the person coming in your house is not a responsible gun owner, and they're not coming in empty-handed. They're going to come with a weapon, So, and that's why I say, I don't really like when people say, when they judge what someone feels is right to protect their family and their home. Not everyone lives in the same place. Not everyone has the same, just the same life, So, if it fits your life, I think that you should. I'm glad we have the right, at least. That's what I'm saying.
I have a question now. Again, going back to kind of these medieval, older outdoor sports / knives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you grew up poor like I grew up poor. Did you have the house where you stashed weapons all over the place, hitting just generally in general vicinity of places?
No,
well, we grew up.
I mean, I didn't know if we did. I mean, that would have been my father's job. I have no idea if we did.
Well, that's the thing. I grew up. We didn't do this. I didn't learn this until I had cousins who we lived with at one point. Like my whole family and their whole family literally lived in the same house together. Hey, and if you want to hear more about that story, check out my book. Go to ChrisCotton.com.
Oh, that's right. Chris Cotton wrote a book.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
That's right.
But I didn't
what my
talk about
dad
this
did.
part. Yeah.
What my dad did is the name of the book, man. It's a great read.
But I didn't talk about this part in the book. Is how my cousins, they grew up in a shelter at one point. They lived in a shelter for like a year. So they were super tough. I could fight.
Yeah.
They could fight. It was a whole different thing. Like they were like movie level, like street fight good. Like I see them only see one.
Did they train to fight, or it was just like a natural?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like
they had to be trained.
They didn't train.
No. You don't think they're like that guy who can dance really good, and you say to yourself, "Are you home practicing?" He's like, "Oh man, I just got it in me."
They practiced, but they weren't quote unquote trained. They got into a lot of fights because they were, like you said, you grew up in a shelter.
Yeah,
people try to steal your stuff all the time, so they had to protect their stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, they just lived. I mean, where they lived at was also tough too, and they got into a nice chunk of fights. Now, I only seen the youngest of my older cousins fight, and he wasn't the worst of the fighters,
right?
But he wasn't the best, and that's what scares me. When I seen him fight, he won the fight in like 10 seconds.
Wow!
And it was one of the things where literally, when I tell the story, I tell it so much, and if you ever meet him, you be like, he's one of the nice. He is one of the nice people ever.
Yeah,
but. It's a thing where he was like, "Oh, it's time to fight." He wasn't no arguing and all. It was like they came around our house. It was them. It was just me, my cousins. I had 2 older cousins. 3 older male cousins that were living in that house, and my older brothers, of course. And I think who was home was only me, my brothers. So that was 2 of us. The parents weren't there, and everybody was at this point like 16. Like the oldest kid was like 20, and I was the youngest at like 9.
Right.
And 9 or 8. And my youngest cousin, the one who I said was fighting, he was about 14. He was like 16. He was like 16. So he came out, and I remember he was like, they came around there, and this is how I knew that he could fight.
Right.
As a fighter kid, I could see. I remember the guy, it was like a whole bunch of kids from that way. They came knocking on the door. Leroy, come out here. Da, 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 da. So we want to fight your brother now. The kid who wanted to fight him was like, of course, a representative got sent to the door. He called him out. And They said, "Yo, we about to come out and fight." I said, "All right." And everybody it was one of those things. I'm watching everybody move, but I was just an observant kid. So I'm watching everybody. And I remember in school, when it was time for me to fight, I kind of calmed down.
Well, for me, it was the worst part was when somebody was telling you it's time to fight, because now you got to take that long walk. I mean, I would do it. Trust me.
That's the part where you really get
But listen,
time to relax.
anybody who tells you that they're not afraid to fight, or that they don't get the nerves, I mean, that's got to be crazy.
I'm gonna
be
honest with you. We have a thing in my family, and this is, I think, is a family trait, which is not a great one. That's why we all kind of listen. Without Jesus, y'all, we would be on these streets causing a problem. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we have bad tempers.
Yeah,
like it's embedded in us.
Yeah.
We all learn how to slow down as time goes on. But on top of that, it's a thing inside of me also. Fight or flight. I literally just can go cold.
Right.
And I don't see fighting as like when I started to fight, it was never a thing where it's like I'm reacting. It was me. I'm fighting. To me, it was like, here, this is a mode, and let me calm down and make sure I do what needs to be done and go home. And it was never a thing where it's like, oh, well, I'm hurting this person. It was like, no, let me get home. You know what I mean? I have a definite level of control, which I've probably learned from my cousins. From just them kind of teaching me over the years. Now, they come out, and everybody's just calm. And I was like, only person I've ever seen do that was me.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of dope. Like I was like, so we all walk outside and they all
just walking
coming
out, getting
it's like a background of a Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah, get him. And I'm sitting there like, and they just come out. It's just me, my two brothers, and my two cousins. Oh, the oldest cousin wasn't there, and they just come out. They're so calm. And when one of my cousins came out, the middle one, the brother of the kid that my cousin was going to fight, came out and he said, listen, man, just so you know, it's no problem with us too. They just fight. That's what I realized.
Yeah.
They must be really good fighters. For the other brother to make it very clear,
Right.
we're good.
Yeah.
This is just a fight between them.
Yeah.
So we good. And they was like, oh, no, man, it's cool, man. I understand. And they came, and all I remember is, all right, man, they step in a circle. Everybody makes a little circle. And we lived on a small block in South Philly at that moment, so no cars were definitely going to come. And all I remember, my cousin, he faked with his left. He literally went threw his left hand just in the air. He did one of those things. The guy bit on it. And I blinked, boom. And the guy was down. That's literally how fast it was. And he didn't dive at it. It was a punch.
Yeah.
Boom, cleaned it. Pow. And then after that, it was like he tried to stuff it. This was just funny. Now, it wasn't about, I think at this point, it wasn't about pain. It was about humiliation.
Yeah.
He came to our house. He tried to stuff his face between like the street and a tire. And I just I was like, what are you doing? It wasn't even painful. It was just kind of and when it was all said and done, we went to the house. We was like, why was he doing that? He was like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to do something. I already wanted to fight, so I wasn't trying to hurt him anymore. I just wanted to kind of be like, don't come back around here. You know?
Listen, there's a really important lesson with fighting. You know, you always if one guy is in your face and he's barking at you, you're in a fight. Even then, punch that dude.
Fight always started.
I wonder what the statistics are, but I would for me, my wins and losses. All my wins started when I threw the first punch, when I didn't sit there and bark with you. Mm-hmm. Because, somebody's got to throw it, right? And, that first punch is the best punch of the fight, right?
Willingness to throw the first punch is definitely most of the battle.
That's it, man.
And that's where this is where the coldness come in at. And it's like, once I confirm, like you said, once I know that a fight is afoot, I don't have to confirm that you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
The thing about a fight is it's not a boxing match.
Right.
A boxing match, there's rules and regulations. This is how my dad taught us. My dad also an ex-Marine. He said, we're in a fight. Right. He said, you fight to win. He said, there's no rules in a fight. You go to make sure you get home.
Yeah.
And that's what he told us. He was like, you get home. Mm-hmm. And considering that, I'm looking at people that say, "Oh man, I wasn't ready." No, we were in a fight.
It doesn't. Yeah,
we're
listen.
In a fight. There's no ready.
Just because you argue things out, right, and then you get to the point where you're going to fight. Mm-hmm. Now you don't stand in front of each other and argue it out again, and maybe think that you can get away with pushing on a guy. And listen, if the guy don't want to be pushed and he's ready to fight, and you still want to bark at him, guess what? You're probably going to lose that fight.
Oh, dude, we will end this episode, but I one day I'll tell you the story of what happened to me. I remember when I was at a comedy club.
Don't do this to them, man. You might as well tell that story.
We're not telling them.
No, all right.
Keep tuning in. It'll come up.
Maybe we'll get that on the next one.
It'll come up.
Yeah.
But man, so what do we got to do here? What do we got to plug stuff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got. What do we got? In a week now, we got Rocky Laporte coming. He's going to be a guest of ours. You'll know him from Last Comic Standing, and all over the place. I mean, I think he's in Hawaii right now. He texted me and told me that he can make it on Wednesday. So that's a pretty exciting guest. And I don't have a lot going on, but what the hell you got going on again?
Stand up everywhere. But if you want to, first of all, if you want to find out what I'm doing on the fly, you can follow me on any social media at Cotton215, COTTON, the number's 215. Other than that, if you want to book or an album or anything, you can go to my website, ChrisCottonComedy.com. But I'll be at Philly Comedy Club this weekend. Atlantic City Comedy Club most of the time, too. I go to both a lot. And then otherwise, just follow me. I'm literally have a show. I do pop-up shows all the time. You never know where you can find me. Just a few weeks ago, literally, I was hosting this thing, Blocktoberfest, and that same night I had to go open up for Hannibal. So literally, you never know where I'm going to be at.
Yeah.
Comedy is a great and crazy thing, so you get calls all the time. So I suggest follow me on social media.
Yep. And I forgot to say this. I mean, I did start a Facebook page for this the East Roast podcast. That's East Roast podcast. Like us, follow us.
Yeah.
Get the book.
Hit the
Get Chris's
notification
book.
button too, and subscribe.
Yeah,
and
man.
Tell a friend. Don't just watch this and keep it to yourself. Don't you
Yeah.
Don't you watch this podcast and keep it to yourself. You tell a friend.
That's right. Share it.
All right, you tell a friend, and you click that notification button, so that way when we pop up, you know.
That's right.
All right, and you subscribe. Okay, East Roast Podcast.
Another good podcast, man. Appreciate it. Catch you guys.
Man.
Catch you later.
We out.
The East Roast Podcast.
Are you listening? Crazy mother. Damn.